Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
Tell me. Do you bleed? You will.
Oh boy. And welcome to Classic Comics Talks. We are in number 69. I haven't done Classic Comic Talks in a while, probably a few months. And it's apt to talk about what we love. What we love, of course, comic book news and other stuff, anime, comic books, and yeah. Welcome. So we're still in the road to 1K. Yep, and we're already in our 640 subscribers. Thank you guys, and replay crew are most welcome. A shout out to the Mikeyverse. Yeah, we continue to support the sell Snyderverse to Netflix and sell ZSJL to Netflix. Also, Jordan Music. Yep. You guys should listen to what Zod writer Bishop DM Williams and me are producing for Jordan Music. Now we're in the wait. Gonna share this. Our first topic, of course, is anime news. I finished watching season 1 of the My Hero Academia spin-off called Vigilantes. Mhm. And I enjoyed it. I totally enjoyed 13 episodes. It's fun. It's It's not that control serious, although it's based on uh, some comic book heroes we all love. We all love. So the plot of this anime is takes place 5 years before the events of the main series. This story follows Koichi Himawari, a young man who uses his quirk to help others despite not being a licensed hero. Yeah. His name is the Crawler. His mentor is a strong vigilante, Knuckle Duster, who reminds me of Frank Miller's Dark Knight. Honestly, this was fun to watch. They have kid heroes who looks like the X-Men, specifically Cyclops and Wolverine, which is funny. And then there's their lady their lady members, Pop. Yeah, Pop Step. Yeah. It's funny how they came up with names like this. So the first 13 episodes was all about them, uh, the three heroes, uh, being vigilantes or playing hero without license from someone. Yep. And this was great until, of course, the flow of the story came to them fighting Knuckle Knuckle Duster's daughter. Yeah. I started watching this on Netflix the other day, so still fresh, still fresh. This was first aired in April of 2025 up to June 30, 2025. Yep. This was a really great anime. Yeah. Really great anime. Another anime series I I finished watching is Sakamoto Days. Yeah. Sakamoto Days. This was this is an amazing anime about assassins and whatnots. This is a this was shown on Netflix starting January 11, 2025. And this lasted in September 23, 2025. Although Netflix will show this in the Philippines on, yeah, 23. On the 23rd, I already watched the final episode somewhere out there. It tells the story of the legendary hitman Taro Sakamoto. This, of course, is a martial arts slash comedy series. I enjoyed this, man. Also enjoyed this series. We have Shin, Taro, and the rest of the crew. This one of the best animes so far that I've watched, and yeah, I totally enjoy this, especially when the Assassins Guild or the JAA put out a bounty for Mr. Sakamoto, and yeah, he was funny, right? He was totally funny, and he's good. The enemy here is a friend of his from his assassin's days, and so far, season two is coming. Yeah, season one is kind of has this cliffhanger endings. Yep, yep, and right now I'm gonna share to you something I did on Google Gemini. This, of course, is my comic book story. Original character named the Sovereign, and this is a 10-page storybook. And yeah, let's listen to it.
The Sovereign's fiery rescue. The city hummed with its usual rhythm, a symphony of sounds under the watchful eye of the Sovereign. He soared high above, a silent guardian, always ready to answer the call. Suddenly, a wisp of smoke, then a plume, billowed from a skyscraper's upper floors. A siren's wail pierced the air. A building was on fire. Without a moment's hesitation, the Sovereign plunged towards the inferno. He knew time was precious, and lives were at stake. Inside, the air was thick with smoke, and the heat was intense. He could hear cries for help. "Is anyone here?" he called out, his voice strong and clear. Through the haze, a small figure emerged. It was a child, Ren, coughing and scared. "Help me," Ren cried, reaching out. The Sovereign scooped Ren into his arms. "Don't worry, little one. We'll get you out," he promised, his voice a comforting whisper. As they moved, another person, Akari, appeared, trapped by fallen debris. "My leg is stuck," she gasped. With a mighty heave, the sovereign lifted the heavy beam, freeing Akari. "Are you all right?" he asked, helping her to her feet. Guiding Ren and Akari, the sovereign led them to a clear exit. The fire department was there, ready to help. Safe outside, Ren and Akari looked back at the sovereign, their eyes filled with gratitude. He gave a reassuring nod, then soared back into the sky, ever vigilant, ever ready.
And what happened? This was my first story for the Sovereign, a character I designed since since what college, high school. Yeah, and this was great. I finally found a way to translate my stories in another form. This is, of course, my Superman slash Mr. Majestic character. It's yeah, it was very gratifying to be able to do the stories in my head with the help of AI technology. I wrote the script. I picked the design from past memory, and yes, I still have 11 more stories in the crib. Yeah, I just need somewhere to tell it. Yes. Now we have our main topics. I found this on Cosmic Book News. Yeah, there it is. So this is from Cosmic Book News, written by Matt McGloin last September 13. Zack Snyder's Justice League revival possible? Could be, could be, could be. According to this article, Long Live the King. Zack Snyder's Justice League universe could make a comeback if Netflix ends up buying Warner Bros. And with it, DC Studios. That's the possible suspectation following a report from Variety citing Wells Fargo media analyst Stephen Cahall, who identified the soon to be standalone Warner Bros. As a prime acquisition target. So, prior to the news of a potential Skydance Paramount bid for WB, analyst Stephen Cahall named Netflix the most compelling buyer, ranking it ahead of Amazon, Apple, Comcast, Sony, and Paramount Skydance. Indeed, prior to the news, Paramount Skydance prepping a bid for WBD, which was first reported by Wall Street Journal, Wells Fargo media analyst Stephen Cahall issued a note that pegs the future standalone Warner Bros. As an attractive M&A candidate, with Netflix the most compelling buyer and other potential suitors, including Amazon, Apple, Comcast, Sony, and Paramount Skydance. I think that's a tweet or so Netflix is eyed as a top buyer. The report arrives as the entertainment industry braces for a massive shifts, which are thought to be involved tech companies scooping up film studios at basement prices. Of course, fire sale. Rumors have also said Apple has been interested in Disney, and Skydance is essentially a tech company as a result of Oracle. Netflix can be looked at as a tech company. Comcast owns Universal. WBD is planning to split in 2026 into two separate entities: Warner Bros., which hold the studios, HBO, DC, etc., and Discovery Global, which will retain the cable and network assets. That split was confirmed by CEO David Zaslav and lines up with what analysts says make WB much more attractive for acquisition, especially by a content-hungry giant like Netflix. Yeah, sell Snyderverse to Netflix. For fans of Snyder's DC films, Man of Steel, BVS, and ZSJL, the Netflix scenario opens the door to possibilities that once seemed closed. Since exiting the DCEU, Snyder has found a home at Netflix, where he developed Rebel Moon, Army of the Dead, and Twilight of the Gods. He's also working on a police drama project for the streamer. Potential acquisition would put his past and present under the same roof, and with it, the keys to DC. Can't wait. Maybe. Snyder fans have long speculated that Netflix could be the path back to continuing or rebooting his version of the DC universe. That theory, once brushed off as wishful thinking, now has a sliver of plausibility. If Netflix owned the studio and IP outright, it would greenlight a Snyderverse continuation along with other DC projects. And if the studio sees value in multiple continuities, as it already does with series, animation, and spin offs, there's nothing stopping a scenario where Snyder, characters, and art return in some form. This could mean Zack Snyder's Justice League parts 2 and 3 could finally see the light of day, as well as Ben Affleck's version of the Batman. The question now is, what about Gunny Poo's DCU? That wouldn't necessarily mean the end of James Gunn's DCU either. Netflix has shown it can support multiple large scale franchises and would likely want as much DC content as possible to fuel its platform. A dual track approach could serve the different audiences. Gunny Poo continuity on one side and Snyder's fan favorite dark tone on the other. With DC IP under its control, Netflix could push volume, variety, and vision all at once. Listen, listen. However, as I suggested before, it's possible Gunny Poo is fast tracking the DCU to make Warner Bros. Look more attractive ahead of potential sale. Although every DC movies done by Gunn flop, flop, and flop. He appears to be moving quickly to get his slate into production, which could be part of an effort to boost the studio's perceived value before WB and DC with it changes hand. So everyone is expecting, everyone is expecting major flops, right? Flop after flop after flop. Yeah, flop after flop. In my opinion, uh, Netflix could be the key. Could be the key, man. Everything. Netflix is the key to restoring uh, the Snyderverse to its past glory. Unlike what happened to the DCU, which totally
Level of the top producer who, between them or separately, will make flop after flop after flop after flop. I'm not going to name them, but I know who they are. And they're not all American either. And they still get paid huge sums of money for being in films that nobody wants to see. And producers make pictures out of which they take enormous sums of money. And the films, again, are not films people want to see. They're always going to blame somebody else. Always. Not their fault. No, 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 you were the one who said, or whatever. And there's a word for that. It's called upward failure. You see it all the time.
it's called upward failures. You see it all the time. Now we have my last article. Let's check. Oh, wrong. Uh, Share screen. Yeah. Big tech buying up movie studios. This was confirmed by Matt McGloin. What I've said for years is now being echoed by studio insiders and industry execs that big tech is circling the studios and the sell off is happening. Yeah, sell off. The latest confirmation comes from Deadline, reporting on FX chairman John Landgraf's comment on that a Paramount Skydance acquisition of WBD or another major merger involving the remaining studios isn't just likely, it's inevitable. Yeah, this follows everything I've been reporting about WBD CEO David Zaslav, who sucks, who is actively seeking a buyer and try to spark a bidding war among tech giants like Apple, Amazon, and Netflix. Yeah, there's the tweet from Deadline. The industry structurally requires consolidation. Speaking at the Royal Television Society's Cambridge Convention, Landgraf explained that the streaming market can't support this many platforms, especially globally. Well, Netflix is number one here. Via Deadline, he said the US legacy studios, Paramount, Universal, and Warner Bros., don't have the scale needed to compete with giants like Netflix, Apple, and YouTube. And so the consolidation of at least two of these companies is necessary. I really honestly think it's inevitable, that Landgraf said, pointing to the unsustainable nature of their business models. He noted that many of these companies can't scale past 200, 300 million global subscribers without merging, and that departments will take a huge hit due to fewer buyers and increased efficiency. Yeah, 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 yeah. This confirms what I've reported. Zaslav breaking up Warner Bros. Discovery was never just about cutting costs. It was a setup for sale. Sell, 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 sell. Oh, over the years, various reports have also offered that Apple might be interested in Disney and that the big tech companies would be scooping up major movie studios for pennies on the dollar. Lions, Lionsgate could be next. Lionsgate could be next. Land Landgraf's comment give even more weight to the ongoing reports that Zaslav is shopping Warner Bros. Discovery around. The New York Post recently revealed Zaslav has already met with bankers at Goldman Sachs to gauge interests and drive up stock value, hoping to spark a bidding war. Because WBD stock is still low, Ellison Skydance is also a contender to buy WBD, and Zaslav knows that Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Skydance are flush with cash and hungry for global content. Analysts are already calling Netflix the most compelling buyer for Warner, which could include DC, HBO, W Games, and more. Landgraf also explained that how FX is adapting to this new landscape. His strategy now focuses on creating a few globally resonant series rather than chasing volume. He pointed to Shogun as an example, a series that's performing better internationally than domestically. Yeah, Shogun was good. And noted that Disney is repositioning its creative capital to compete with tech backed platforms. Yeah, this is from Matt McGloin. Yeah. So, what do you think will happen? I think sell ZSJL to Netflix and sell Snyderverse to Netflix are inevitable, right? We've been doing this for years. Uh, campaigning for them to sell the IP for Zack Snyder's uh, universe to be either on Netflix or others. And I, for one, am excited to learn this is coming true. So, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I'm about to go. It's early morning here in the Philippines, and yes. Shout out to the executive branch, shout out to the Cool Table and the Syndicate Network, and of course, thank you guys for enjoying the show. I'm out of here in 5, 4, 3, 2,